Good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's regular council meeting, December 17th, 2024 at 10 a.m. I would like to call the meeting to order. At this time, I'd like to remind committee members and members of the public in attendance that all committee and council meetings are recorded. Please note that these recordings may capture comments made during meetings or in breaks or recesses. Recordings will be available to the public on the municipal YouTube channel for members to view. The public may also attend the open session of this meeting in person in the municipal council chambers. Please mute all electronic devices during this meeting. Thank you. And I believe we are having some technical issues, so just warning anyone who's watching this on YouTube, um, we may lose you. All right, and now it's time for the national anthem, and I ask everyone to stand for O Canada. Please be seated. Now I'll read the First Nations land acknowledgement. As we gather today, I would like to acknowledge on behalf of Council and our community that we're meeting on the traditional territory of the Algonquin people. We would like to thank the Algonquin people and express our respect and support for their rich history, and we are extremely grateful for their many and continued displays of friendship. We also thank all the generations of people who have taken care of this land for thousands of years. We have a recommendation to adopt the agenda. So the recommendation is that the regular council meeting agenda for December 17th, 2024 be approved as presented. I need a mover. Councillor Schulis, seconded by Councillor Olszewski. Any discussion, additions? Seeing none, all in favor? That's carried. Okay, is there any disclosure of pecuniary interest?
No.
None here. Seeing one, we'll move on to the mayor's address, and I just have a very short one. Welcome, everyone. I'll be keeping today's mayor's address very informal. Today is our last council meeting of 2024. I'd like to thank council and staff for all that they have contributed to our township during the year. 2024 has been a good year. However, we can do better. I think we all can do better, and I am sure we will do that next year. I am looking forward to 2025. The last few weeks have been extremely busy with events happening throughout the township. It has been great to see the engagement of council members attending and in some cases organizing these events. Councillor Micah. Um, However, I know it is impossible to attend all events. However, between us, I think we do a pretty good job. Lastly, I would like to wish council, staff, and all the residents of the Madawaska Valley very Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and a Happy New Year. I move into 2025 with a very positive attitude, and we will continue to offer our township effective, efficient, responsible, and fair governance. Wish everyone all the best, and please stay safe.
That's easy for you to say.
Yeah. All right. Under delegations and presentations, we do have a staff awards presentation, but that will be at 11 a.m. So we'll move on to the confirmation of the minutes. Item 8.1 is council and committee meeting minutes from December 3rd, 2024. The recommendation is that council and committee meeting minutes for December 3rd, 2024 be approved as presented. Could I get a mover, please? Councillor Blank, seconded by Councillor Olszewski. Any discussion on these minutes?
None.
Seeing none, all in favor? And we do have a second set of minutes, and those are the Committee of Adjustment from December 3rd. Recommendation is that the Committee of Adjustment meeting minutes for December 3rd, 2024 be approved as presented. Once again, I need a mover. Councillor Schulis, seconded by Councillor Blank. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? That's carried. And there is no business arising from the minutes. So we'll move into municipal reports. And the first report is 10.1, the CAO update.
Thank you through the chair. This is just an update on human resources matters, the Ontario Land Tribunal, as well as an outstanding MFIPA. The Manager of Planning and Community Development posting has closed, and we'll be discussing the organizational chart to discuss the requirements of the planning, building, and bylaw departments. Staff interviews before year end will complete the last of the performance appraisals for 2024 for my direct reports. Ontario Land Tribunal, the applicant forwarded a response to the tribunal regarding the township's written submissions. It has been acknowledged as received by the tribunal. The municipality has nothing further to submit in response to the applicant's submission.
Okay, thank you very much, Sue. Any questions on any of those items by any member of council? I think it's quite straightforward. Seeing none, where are we? That's for information.
It is.
Correct?
Thank
Yeah.
you.
We have no standing committees. So we'll move into 12.1, which is the consent agenda for support. We have a couple of resolutions. The first resolution is resolution Town of Aurora redistribution of provincial land tax and resolution Virginia Town redistribution. If I can get organized here.
Through the chair, did you want me to read the
Yes.
very long recommendation?
Yes, please, because I've lost my place.
Through the chair recommendation, whereas municipalities face growing infrastructure needs, including roads, bridges, public transit, water systems, and other critical services which are essential to community well-being and economic development. And whereas the current sources of municipal revenue, including property taxes and user fees, are insufficient to meet these increasing demands for infrastructure investment. And whereas the province of Ontario currently collects the land transfer tax on property transactions in municipalities across the province. Now therefore be it resolved that the Council of the Corporation of the Township of Madawaska Valley formally requests the provincial government to consider redistributing a portion of the land transfer tax collected on property transactions to municipalities, and request the redistribution of the provincial land transfer tax and GST to municipalities for sustainable infrastructure funding. Therefore,
continue. Yes.
Therefore, that the Council of the Corporation of the Township of Madawaska Valley calls on the federal government to allocate a percentage of the GST collected on property sales to municipalities, and that this redistribution of the land transfer tax and GST should be structured to provide predictable and sustainable funding to municipalities, allowing for better long-term planning and investment in infrastructure projects that benefit local communities, thus ensuring that local governments receive a fair share of the revenue to address critical infrastructure needs. And finally, that a copy of this resolution be forwarded to the AMCTO's advocacy team.
Thank you. Could I get a mover and a seconder? Councillor Micah, seconded by Councillor Blank. Any comments, discussions on this?
No.
So all in favor? That's carried. I'll give you a break and I'll read the next one. So then we move on to 12.3, resolution to support sustainable funding for OPP in small rural municipalities. The resolution, Municipality of Tweed OPP notice of motion, letter of supports, sustainable funding for OPP small rural municipalities. The recommendation is whereas it is apparent that the Ontario government has overlooked the needs of small rural Ontario, and whereas Ontario's small rural municipalities face insurmountable challenges to fund both upfront investments and ongoing maintenance of their capital assets, including roads, bridges, water, wastewater, and municipally owned buildings, including recreational facilities, libraries, and other tangible capital assets. And whereas small rural Ontario operating needs consume the majority of property tax revenue sources, and whereas small rural municipalities of 10,000 people or less are facing monumental infrastructure deficits that cannot be adequately addressed through property tax revenue alone, and whereas in 2015, the provincial government moved to standardize billing for all non-contract OPP brackets 5.1 locations, and whereas the Ontario government has committed 9.1 billion to Toronto alone to assist with operating deficits and the repatriation of the Don Valley and Gardiner Expressway, and 534 million to Ottawa for the repatriation of Highway 174. And whereas the annual cost of the Ontario Provincial Police Municipal Policing Bureau for small rural non-contract 5.1 municipalities is approximately 428 million, and whereas the annual cost is significantly less than the repatriation cost of the Gardiner Expressway, the Don Valley Parkway, and Highway 174 Ottawa region, but provides a greater impact to the residents of the province overall. And whereas this will afford relief to small rural municipalities for both infrastructure and operating needs while having a minimal impact on the provincial budget. Now therefore be it resolved that the Council of the Corporation of the Township of Madawaska Valley calls on the Ontario government to immediately implement sustainable funding for small rural municipalities by reabsorbing the cost of the Ontario Provincial Police Force back into the provincial budget with no cost recovery to municipalities. And finally, that a copy of this resolution be forwarded to the AMCTO's advocacy team. Could I get a mover on this one? Councillor Schulis, second by Councillor Micah. Any discussion? I think it's quite clear. Yep. All in favor? And that's carried. So we'll move to 12.4, which is consent agenda for information items. And once again, a council member can move an item from information to action if they would like to. So the recommendation as it stands now is that the items listed under the correspondence information sections, items 12.5 to 12.10, be approved by consent and be received by the Corporation of the Township of Madawaska Valley to be filed as information. Are there any questions, any comments? Councillor Micah.
So just the first one, item 12.5, cybersecurity letter, municipal drinking water systems and wastewater facilities from the MOE. I just had a little note here that are we asking Aqua, Ontario Clean Water Agency, do they have a plan for that, or are they addressing these issues that are being outlined?
If you recall, we did get confirmation from Aqua at a previous meeting where they advised us of the insurance that they have on cyber and some of the programs that they have in place.
Okay.
So I've forwarded this to Ashley
Okay.
to see if there's any further comments that pertain to our.
No, I just want to make sure they got a call. Yep. They should. They are overseen by that ministry, but who knows?
Yes, thank you.
All right. Are there any other questions or comments?
Just give me one more second here. Yes, and this would be item 12.7, changes to additional residential units.
Yep.
Letter from the minister, and then a follow-up from JP2G Consultants with respect to how that impacts rural municipalities, because that is addressing if you are only in an or suburban area that's serviced by water and sewer systems. So I just wanted to, because we are going to be looking at doing
as we were in the past, to have planning comments on it to see how it pertains to us. Some don't pertain to us. Some may have a major impact to us.
Okay, no, thank you.
All right. Any other questions? Okay, so with that, can we approve those consent items? Could I get a mover, please? Councillor Blank, seconded by Councillor Schulis. All in favor? That's carried. With that, we will move into bylaws. We have one bylaw, and the recommendation is that bylaw 2024-91 being a bylaw to authorize the execution of a service agreement between Ontario Clean Water Agency, Aqua, and the Corporation of the Township of Madawaska Valley with respect to the operation and maintenance services of the Barry's Bay Water Treatment, Water Distribution System, Wastewater Treatment Facility, and Wastewater Collection System, being read a first, second, and third time, and finally this passed the 17th day of December 2024. Once again, I need a mover. Councillor Blank, seconded by Councillor Schulis. All in favor? And that's, I don't see enough to carry it. So it's I will vote, and it's 3 in favor, 2 no votes. So we'll now move on to new business, and there is none. There's no unfinished business, and we do have our next item, so we will be having a break. At this point, we will have the service awards at 11 o'clock. So until then, I'll ask somebody to move for a break until 11. Councillor Micah, seconded by Councillor Olszewski. All in favor? And that's carried. All right, we'll see you in 40 minutes. All right. Well, good morning again. It's now 11 o'clock. I'd like to call today's council meeting back to order. And we will move back to the beginning of the agenda to the delegations section. And we have the pleasure of presenting our service awards today. And I do want to just read a little blurb first. The Township of Madawaska Valley's Municipal Service Awards celebrate the service achievements of the most important resource this organization has, our dedicated employees and volunteer firefighters. Your effort, skill, and experience bring the municipality's vision to life, delivering the quality services that our community relies on every day. On behalf of Council, I'd like to thank you and express our deepest gratitude for making Madawaska Valley a fantastic place to live, work, and play. And we do have 5 awards today. I think, Katrina, you're the only one in attendance right now, but I will read the names and the length of time of the 5 individuals who will be receiving these awards. The first one is Andy Poplinski, who's with Planning Services and Facility Supervisor. This is 5 years for him. Kenneth Shalla, Public Works, Truck Driver Equipment Operator. He's served us 25 years. The third one is Joshua Tushak, Waste Site Attendant, 5 years. And Katrina Belsky, Volunteer Firefighter, 5 years. Along with Andy Kaminsky, who's a volunteer firefighter also for 5 years. So what I'd like to do is present to you, Katrina, here, maybe we can get all council up with the presentation.
Yep.
Yeah. What's all the council and fire chief. We'll present. So this is. Photo with all of.
I was up.
All right, well, maybe right. Table. That's Corwin. Then we'll get Keith Corwin on the other side. Right there.
You're okay. All right, well, we're lining up here.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it. Figure it out.
Honest?
Congratulations.
Very nice.
And thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you.
Congratulations. And there are, we do have, we invite you to stick around for a little bit. There are sandwiches and fruit, I believe. Have a little bit to eat. Bye.
Oh, we're still on?
Yeah, so I will call. Yeah, great. So,
Sorry, Mark. God, I waited to get by.
all right, so I will look for a motion to adjourn the council meeting at 11:05. No, to recess from 11:05 to 11:30. And so could I get a mover for that, please? Councillor Micah, seconded by Councillor Olszewski. All in favor? That's carried. We are back at 11:30. All right, I'd like to call the council meeting back to order at 11:26. We do have a recommendation to move in camera, and I'll read the recommendation. The recommendation is that the meeting enter in-camera session to discuss matters pertaining to personal matters about an identifiable individual, including municipal or local board employees. Information explicitly supplied in confidence to the municipality or local board by Canada, a province or territory, or a crown agency of any of them, and educational or training sections pursuant to the Ontario Municipal Act 2001 C25 S 239 brackets 2 brackets B brackets H brackets 3.1. 2 items are human resources audit presentation by Kelly Howe from Cornerstones, and item 2 is the County of Renfrew letter policy B04 pay equity. Could I get a mover, please? Moving camera, Councillor Olszewski, second by Councillor Schulis. All in favor? Okay, we are in camera. All right, I would like to report out of closed session that the CAO clerk delegated her authority to the mayor to receive the presentation from Cornerstone. The presentation was received and we gave direction. On item 2, we received an update on this item. Yeah, so I need a mover, please. Councillor Blank, second by Councillor Micah. We have a confirming bylaw. Recommendation is that bylaw 2024-91 being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings, Council of the Corporation of the Township of Madawaska Valley, the regular council meeting of December 17th, 2024, be read a first, second, and third time, and finally passed the 17th day of December 2024. Can I get a mover, please? Councillor Olszewski, seconded by Councillor Schulis. All in favor? That's carried. And I have a recommendation that the regular council meeting adjourn at 1:28. Mover, please. Councillor Olszewski, seconded by Councillor Blank. All in favor? Thank you. We are adjourned.
Bring sandwiches home.